I have a confession. When I moved to the US, I thought I was a pretty normal person. I grew up, I went to school, I had a dog, which you already know about, and I thought this is just how life works. Turns out, life on a Brazilian farm is not how life works anywhere else. Nobody told me. I have a list. Number 1, taking a shower in the rain. On the farm, when it rained, and it rained a lot, sometimes you just went outside. You stood there. You got clean. You came back inside. Done. It was efficient. It was free. It was refreshing. The water was clean. The air was warm. And honestly, it was one of the better parts of the day. The first time I mentioned this to an American, he looked at me the way people look at someone who just said something deeply, personally offensive. He said, "But the acid rain." I showered in the rain for years. I have 2 arms, 2 legs, all my organs. The rain was fine. The acid rain guy has never been to a farm. Number 2, eating fruit directly from the tree. No washing, no rinsing, no plastic bag, no waiting 2 weeks for it to arrive in a truck. You see the fruit. You want the fruit, you eat the fruit. On the farm, this was just called eating fruit. Apparently in the US, this is called a biological risk. Someone said those exact words to me. That is a biological risk. I ate fruit from trees for 18 years. The trees were fine. I was fine. The fruit was, and I cannot stress this enough, delicious. The fruit at the supermarket, wrapped in plastic that traveled for 2 weeks in a refrigerated truck, is apparently the safe option. I have questions about that, but I'll save them. Number 3, animals inside the house. Now, before you say anything, I don't mean pets. I mean visitors. On the farm, a chicken in the kitchen was just Tuesday. You walked in, the chicken was there, you looked at the chicken looked at you. Nobody said anything, and eventually, one of you left. Usually the chicken. One time there was a goat in the living room. I don't know how it got in. Nobody knows how it got in. The goat certainly wasn't explaining anything. I told this story at a dinner party in the US once. The table went completely silent. Someone put down their fork. I think I was supposed to be more disturbed by the goat situation than I actually was. I wasn't disturbed at all. It was just a goat. Number 4, distances. Americans talk about distance in minutes. Oh, it's 20 minutes away. Just a quick 5-minute drive. It's literally around the corner. On the farm, we talked about distance and commitment. How far is the nearest store? Far. How far is school? Also far. How far is your neighbor? Sir, my neighbor was a horizon. The nearest town, 1 hour. The nearest city, 3 hours. The nearest anything open after 6 p.m., a philosophical concept. When Americans say, it's just around the corner, they mean 2 blocks. On the farm, just around the corner meant pack a snack. Number 5, wire. Specifically, fixing everything with wire. On the farm, wire was not a material. Wire was a philosophy. Gate broken, wire. Shoe falling apart, wire. Car making a noise it definitely shouldn't be making, wire. I once watched my uncle fix a fence, a shoe, and something in the tractor engine with the same piece of wire in the same afternoon. He didn't think this was impressive. I didn't think this was impressive. I mentioned this to an American mechanic once. He looked at me the way doctors look at x-rays that don't make sense. You cannot fix an engine with wire. My uncle would like a word. Number 6, roosters. Americans have alarm clocks. On the farm, we had a rooster. The difference is, an alarm clock goes off when you set it. A rooster goes off when he decides the day has started, which was always 4 in the morning, not 5, not 6, 4. I looked it up. Roosters are supposed to crow at sunrise. Our rooster apparently did not receive that information. Our rooster crowed at 4 a.m., at 4:15, at 4:30, and then again at noon for absolutely no reason. I have not slept past 6 a.m. since I was 7 years old. I didn't know this was unusual until I was 20. I'm still recovering. Number 7. And this is connected. On the farm, every single day started before the sun. Not because we wanted to, not because we set an alarm, because the farm didn't care what day of the week it was. Monday, before the sun. Friday, before the sun. Saturday, before the sun. When I got to the US and people talked about sleeping in on weekends, I genuinely didn't know what that meant. Sleeping in on a weekend. The concept of a day where you just don't get up because you don't have to. I had to sit with that for a while, Echo. I still wake up at 5:30 every morning. I live in a city. I don't have a farm. I don't have animals. The rooster isn't even here anymore. But my body didn't get the memo. Number 8. Food. On the farm, we ate what the farm produced. Eggs, we had chickens, milk, we had cows, vegetables, we had a garden. And yes, we went to the supermarket for some things. Rice, salt, things the farm didn't make. But here's the thing that Americans cannot process. If we wanted chicken for dinner. The chicken was still outside, walking around, having a great day. And then it was dinner. I told this to someone here. She looked at me like I had said something that changed her understanding of the world. She said, "Wait, you knew the chicken?" "Ma'am, on the farm, you always knew the chicken. That was just dinner." So, that's 8 things. 8 things that were completely normal to me that apparently are not normal. Americans keep asking me if I miss the farm, and I say yes, which is apparently also not normal. If you grew up somewhere where things worked differently, I want to know. Tell me in the comments. What was your normal that turned out to be not normal? I'm Iz. I was farm raised, and I showered in the rain, and I'd do it again. Subscribe if you want to hear what else was different. There's more. There's a lot more.